Attention citizens, nuclear strike imminent.
Don't want to set the world on fire. Oh, now what in the name of Earl is this? Now this just seems so familiar. Todd? Todd! Why is it that you've never told me about any of this before? Oh, don't you give me that spiel again. You know, you are really trying my patience, Todd. Don't make me get the hose again.
So, if you're familiar with our ARC videos, you'll no doubt know the Dino Lord. He is big into collecting 50s memorabilia, and the other day he came across a picture on Facebook of something a friend of ours had found while out picking in America, and this was Bob's Big Boy. And we both just thought, oh, this looks a bit familiar. It looked so similar to the Vault Boy in Fallout that I just had to do some research. And it turns out that the Bob's Big Boy was indeed an inspiration for the guys at Interplay, the original creators of Fallout, but just not quite in the way that we thought. So I went down this massive rabbit hole at like midnight, looking for the origins and inspiration for some of the designs for the mascots in the Fallout franchise. And I learned some things that I never had a clue about before. So I thought maybe some of you might find this interesting too. So there will be spoilers for pretty much all the Fallout stuff, the early games, the later games, and also the TV series. So if you're cool with that, let's get into it. So we all know Vault Boy. He's like the face of Fallout, right? He's in most of the promotional Fallout stuff. He's in the user interface of our Pip Boy that we have on our wrists in the games, where we access our inventory and all our stats and pretty much everything else. Now, this has often caused confusion between Vault Boy and Pip Boy. So who is Pip Boy? Well, Pip Boy is pretty much the mascot for Robco Industries, and he appears on your Pip Boy device in Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and Fallout 76. I'm going to call the original Fallout Fallout 1 in this video as well, just to save confusion, you know? So this is Fallout 1 and Fallout 2's Pip Boy 2000, and you can see the Pip Boy there on the top left. And then we've got the Pip Boy 2000 Mark 6 in Fallout 76, as well as on the Pip Boy Mark 7 skin that you get from completing one of the main quests in Fallout 76. And you can see it, if you just tilt your wrist a bit, you'll see him there on the top. So he's got pointy ears, red hair, and wears a red and yellow jumpsuit, and it's easy to see why there's confusion between Robco's Pip Boy and Vault-Tec's Vault Boy. Because in Fallout Tactics, the Vault Boy is called Pip Boy. So looks like a Vault Boy, called Pip Boy. And then even in Chris Avalon's Fallout Bible, is called Pip Boy, but the picture is the Vault Boy. I'll be honest, I thought, until I started digging into this, I thought they were the same person. And then there's even more confusion when the Atomic Shop in Fallout 76 comes out with Vault Boy 2000, and he looks like this. So it's the Pip Boy, but he's being called Vault Boy 2000. So yeah, it gets a bit nuts. But from what I've read about the Vault Boy 2000 looking like Pip Boy in the Fallout 76 Atom Shop, the design director Emil Pagliarulo has said, "The status of many purchasable objects in the shop do not strictly confine to established law and canon, as the internal rules for what can be placed in the Atomic Shop are very loose. Some items may have conflicting status within the law, but are placed in the Atomic Shop because of their fun factor." So I get that, that's fine, but it's still really confusing to people who don't know and are like, well, why has the Vault Boy got like red hair and a yellow suit now? But they're definitely two separate entities, because Leonard Boyarsky, who is the art director of the original Fallout, clarified the confusion between the Vault Boy and the Pip Boy in an interview. He said, "I also came up with the idea and design for the Vault Boy and the cards, as I called them, showing him doing all different things in humorous ways. By the way, he is not Pip Boy. Pip Boy is the little guy on your Pip Boy interface, and the Pip Boy was based on Bob's Big Boy mascot." The one we were talking about earlier that the Dino Lord found the picture of the other day that led me down this rabbit hole in the first place. So Bob's Big Boy, the inspiration. What is this all about? We're going to take a bit of a deep dive here. Well, Bob's Big Boy is a casual restaurant chain founded by a bloke called Bob Wyan in South California in 1936. And it was called Bob's Pantry at first. And check this out. The chain's signature product is the Big Boy hamburger, which Wyan created 6 months after opening the original location, slicing a bun into 3 slices, adding 2 hamburger patties. Wyan is credited with creating the original double-decker hamburger. How cool is that? I found out some weird and wonderful facts while researching for this video. Now, what we all want to know about is the mascot, because the chain is best known for its trademark chubby boy with a pompadour hairstyle, wearing red and white checkered overalls holding a Big Boy sandwich. So that's the double-decker we were talking about earlier. And the inspiration for Big Boy's name, as well as the model for its mascot, is really good as well. So it was this little boy called Richard Woodruff from Glendale, California. And when Richard was 6 years old, he walked into the diner Bob's Pantry as the owner was trying to find a name for his new hamburger. And Wyan said to him, "Hello, Big Boy." And that was it, the name stuck. So a Warner Brothers animation artist called Ben Warsham sketched Richard's caricature, and that became the character that's seen on the company's trademark. So from 1952, there were so many changes made to the mascot, and in the ones from 1956 onwards, you can really see the similarity to the Pip Boy and even the Vault Boy. But the Vault Boy was based on something else, which we will go into in a later chapter of the video, but the similarities here are just uncanny, I think. And you can see that this art style definitely inspired the designers of Fallout. There was also a comic book called The Adventures of Big Boy, and a lot of the early issues of the comic, there were both Western and Eastern variants. The original black-haired Big Boy was featured in the Western chains, but for the Eastern chains, the scenes with the Big Boy were redrawn, showing him as blonde or even red-haired and thinner. And the person who wrote the article that I got this information from, which is No Mutants Allowed, I would check out their site if you haven't yet, because there is just a wealth of knowledge on Fallout over there. And he said, although I have no confirmation of this, it's quite possible that the artist who drew Pip Boy based his work on the Eastern variant, because obviously that was the slimmer one with the fairer hair. So the magazine was cancelled in 2008, and me, and I'm sure the Dino Lord, would love to get hold of these comic books. They look absolutely amazing. So the Big Boy restaurants are still going now under the name Big Boy Restaurant Group. There's only a handful of them left, and from what I've heard, they're all in Southern California. Oh my god, I want to go to one so bad. I really want to go to one. The one I really want to go to is the one in Riverside Drive in Burbank, because that's the oldest remaining Bob's Big Boy in the United States. It's been there since 1949, and I really want to go there while it's still open. Let me know if any of you have actually been to one of these restaurants and what it's like. Like, do you still get that old feeling, that 1950s sort of vibe when you go in there? Or am I just sort of imagining it to be a lot better in my mind because I love Fallout and I love the aesthetic and stuff? Because maybe it's just that. Right, we've got a Pip Boy fun fact here for you. He also appears on the Pip Pad, the interface of the Armageddon Rag newsletter. So this was for the cancelled Project V13. Project V13 was a code name for Fallout Online, and it was supposed to be 2 games proposed and developed by Interplay. But Interplay's rights to developing and publish the game was a subject of a legal dispute between Interplay and Bethesda Softworks, who, as we know, now own the franchise. So it was never made, unfortunately. If you want to read more about Project V13, I'll put a link to the page with the details about it and its cancellation in the description of the video. Because I could be here all day talking about it. Or let me know if you'd like me to cover this topic in a future video by leaving me a comment. Right, Vault Boy. Now we come to the Vault Boy himself. As you well know by now, he's the corporate mascot of Vault-Tec Corporations, and we first see him in the movie intro for Fallout 1, where he's shown being clothed into Vault 13. He's also in Fallout 2's intro movie in a promotional video about leaving the Vault. He's in their training films, the What Makes You Special video from Fallout 4, not to mention advertisements, manuals, products, holotape games, on perk cards, and he's got a female counterpart who is Vault Girl as well, and they're in virtually every Fallout game. And Vault Boy's pretty much become the symbol of the Fallout franchise. So in that interview where Leonard Boyarsky spoke about the Vault Boy and the Pip Boy being 2 different characters, he also said the Vault Boy was supposed to evoke a feeling of the Monopoly cards. So his appearance is based on Rich Uncle Pennybags, or Mr. Monopoly, or Monopoly Man, or Milburn Pennybags, whatever you want to call him, the Monopoly guy. Basically the fella in the top hat that you see on the Monopoly stuff. So Monopoly was published by the Parker Brothers, and what's crazy is that no one knew who the original designer of the Monopoly guy was until 2013. So the designer was found to be a bloke named Daniel Fox, and this was discovered when in 2013 a former Parker Brothers executive, Philip Orbanes, was contacted by one of Fox's grandchildren. I just find that mad that no one knew who he was until recently. So the character first appeared on the Chance and the Community chest cards in the US editions of Monopoly in 1936. And as you can see, the Vault Boy perk cards in Fallout 1 and 2 take huge inspiration from these old Monopoly decks. Look at this. So the Monopoly guy was actually unnamed until 1946, when Parker Brothers produced the game Rich Uncle, where his likeness appeared on the lid, instructions, currency, and according to Orbanes, Rich Uncle Pennybags of the American version of Monopoly is modelled after the progressive era businessman J.P. Morgan. And if you look at him, yeah, you can see it, he does look like him. So as we know, the Vault Boy was designed by Leonard Boyarsky, and we've got a picture here of the first ever drawing he did of him. Oh, no, that's not the right one, that's for later in the video, let's just get rid of that. And this is what he said about this picture. This is the first ever drawing of Skill Guy, as I originally called him. I did it to show everyone what I was going on about. It was then given to George Almond, who did the first few initial cards, and then began the progression from what you see in this picture to the final version. Oh my god, no, not... Get away! There we go. Trammell Isaac then took over the cards and did the rest of them, finalising his look. So I know the Vault Boy is directly inspired by the Mr. Monopoly character, but it's easy to see that he also shares so many similarities with the Big Bob's mascot, in the same way that the Pip Boy character does, along with many other popular ads from the 1950s. So I got these pictures from, once again, No Mutants Allowed. So I'm just going to put some of them up so you can see how familiar some of these pictures will feel if you've played a lot of Fallout. Okay, now let's get on to the Vault Boy controversies. That's right, our Vault Boy isn't just innocent, pure, happy little Vault Boy. He's been featured and involved in some quite X-rated and disturbing things. So let's take a look. First we've got Chem Reliant. So Chem Reliant is a trait in Fallout 1, Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics. There is no way they could get away with putting this in the more recent and present games, no. Look at him. Poor bugger looks like a proper crackhead. But even more controversial is Child Killer. So Child Killer's a reputation in Fallout and Fallout 2, and it's like a negative karma morality title. The description reads, "You have killed children, the youth of the wasteland. This is considered to be a really bad thing, you evil, evil person." Now, this is a picture that is used in the game at the moment. We'll take a look at what they were going to use in a bit. But Timothy Kane, the original creator of Fallout series and setting, said this. "This led to the child killing controversy. We said, look, we're going to have kids in the game. You shoot them. It's a huge penalty to karma. You are really disliked. There are places that won't sell to you. People will shoot you on sight. And we thought people can decide what they want to do. This, of course, contributed to our M rating. However, Europe just said no, they won't even sell the game if there were children in the game. We didn't have time to rewrite all the quests, so we just deleted the kids off the disc." Now we get onto the image. So a new Vault Boy image for the Child Killer title was initially created for Fallout 2 by Brian Menze, an artist who worked at Black Isle Studio, and he also worked on Fallout New Vegas at Obsidian. And this image was unused, and it's the only Vault Boy image to ever be cut from Fallout 2. And I think you can see why. So he said, "I remember when I got the request to do a perk illustration for Child Killer, that there would be no way to keep it from being offensive. I mean, really, how do you make an illustration of Child Killer and keep it from being offensive? Anyway, for some reason, I thought this was the least offensive way to do it. I have no idea what I was thinking. Even the designer who requested it realised it was a bad idea, so we fixed it. Looking back on it now, I can't believe I even drew this. Damn straight, that is just insane." Okay, now we're going to look at some X-rated stuff from the older games, and this is going to get proper weird. So we've got Gigolo. Gigolo is a reputation title in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. And the description of it in Fallout 2 is, let's be honest, you sleep with anything that walks on two legs. Sometimes you're not even that discriminating. And just look at that picture, for God's sake. And get this, there's a sex rating formula, and apparently the formula for getting gigolo is identical to the one for a quest in Fallout 2 called, and I shit you not, become a porn star at the Golden Globes. Yeah, that's right, you have to pass a porn audition in this quest. And again, the picture is just, well, you can see what it is, yeah. So there's others as well in Fallout 2, and they all got their own formulas. And right, so this bit of my gaming footage lining up with this part of the video was, I swear to you, it was completely unintentional, okay? Let's just call it a happy accident.
Next time, you might want to get dressed before leaving the house.
And they've all got their own weird little sex formulas that you have to do to be able to get these, right? So first we'll take a look at the milder of the pictures with the sex appeal trait. Lovely picture there of the Vault Boy and the Vault Girl. And then you've got the perk Kama Sutra Master. Yep, this is in Fallout 2. And then this one, the Reputation Sexpert. And there was also the Virgin of the Wastes Reputation title, which comes with this image. Ew. This was cut from Fallout 2, but it still exists in the game files. And it was going to be a reputation title that the Chosen One would begin the game with. So, yeah, that was going to be a thing. So somebody clearly put way too much time and thought into this stuff.
Lynn, these are sex people.
And let's face it, it's a little bit weird. Right, now I think we've had enough smut, so let's look at some fun Vault Boy appearances in other media. So the Vault Boy appeared in the 2002 action-adventure third-person shooter game Run Like Hell, Hunt or Be Hunted. This game was also made by Interplay, who made the original Fallout, and in this game, the Vault Boy is on these candy bars that are called Pip Boy protein bars, and it had the Vault Boy buff-out addiction image on them. So again, called Pip Boy protein bars, but it's a picture of the Vault Boy. Another little confusion there. You can also find a Vault Boy bobblehead in ID Software's Rage, whose story is also set in a post-apocalyptic world similar to Fallout. In Doom 2016, a Vault Boy appears in the game as part of the UAC's line of Marine Guy toys, known fittingly as Vault Guy. This image I got off Reddit because I couldn't find another one anywhere. So in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 2018, the Vault Boy appears as a DLC Mii costume for the Mii Gunner, wearing the Vault 111 jumpsuit and wielding the blaster that's seen on the Energy Weapons bobblehead. That's pretty cool. So you probably know that the common internet rumour is that the Vault Boy's thumbs up is meant to be a way of knowing if you're at a safe distance from a nuclear blast or not. But in 2013 or 2014, both Brian Fargo and Trammell Ray Isaac said that this isn't true. And the gesture is simply a sign of the Vault Boy's positive attitude in presenting that everything is okay when it really isn't. And you've probably seen this referenced in the Fallout TV series, in the episode The End, where Cooper Howard mentions this to his daughter. So speaking of the TV series, let's take a look at the Vault Boy origins from an in-universe perspective. So in the Fallout TV series, we see the actor and spokesman Cooper Howard was the original inspiration for the character and his iconic thumbs up. And then we're shown that the Vault Boy was actually created to replace Howard in the Vault-Tec advertising after things went a bit tits up between him and Vault-Tec. I imagine that's after he heard his wife suggesting the unthinkable while in that meeting with all the other corporates. By the way, does anyone else think that it was someone from the Enclave she was looking at before she suggested that? It's gotta be, yeah. I'm fascinated by the Enclave, you know. I haven't found a really long video about the Enclave. I've been looking, I've watched a lot of the videos, all the ones I could find about the Enclave, but I want a really big, in-depth one, you know? Maybe I'll have to make one myself, I don't know. Also, I just want to say, the actor that plays Cooper Howard the Ghoul, we have been fans of since seeing him as Boyd Crowder in Justified. Anyone else seen that? Cracking programme, and he played a blinder in it, he really did. Anyway, back on topic. I don't know if any of you seen the Vault Sellers Survival Guide videos. They're a bit like a series of training videos for prospective Vault-Tec sales employees. And the videos cover their job responsibilities, best practices, strategies for dealing with tough customers, and like career advancement possibilities, stuff like that. And they talk about getting used to life as a sales manager. They're narrated by Bud Askins, you know, the senior junior vice president at Vault-Tec, before he was a robo-brain, that is. And if you haven't seen the survival guides, you can watch them on the Explore and Extras section on Amazon Prime, or you can just like search them up on YouTube. That's what I did, you know. So in the episode from this survival guide that's called Meet Me in Coswold, it's the first time that the Vault Boy and the Pip Boy mascots are seen actually interacting with each other. There's other corporate mascots in there as well, like Ball and Cappy as well. It's really cool. I'd highly recommend watching those videos if you haven't already. They are so entertaining and comical in that like tongue-in-cheek way that the Fallout franchise is known for. And they show like a lot of shady tactics that Vault Tech encouraged their employees to use to try and sell the vault, and the kind of people that they're wanting to work for them. And it just gives you so many questions about Cooper Howard's wife and the kind of person she really is. Like, if she's that high up in the company and has watched these videos during her time climbing the ranks, yeah, I think she's probably a bit of a bitch. Like, I don't know how he hasn't seen it. She must put on a front when she comes home, I guess. So yeah, if you haven't seen them, definitely give them a watch. Oh god, I can't wait for season 2, you know. I might rewatch season 1 again because it was just so good, yeah. Anyway, this brings us to the close of our deep dive into the Vault Boy and Pip Boy. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments. And I have to know, have any of you been to the Bob's Big Boy restaurants at all? If you have, tell me about your experience, please. I'm so jealous. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more Fallout content. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day and take care.
Get the bell on.
Thank you for your cooperation.